based on the client base, you can differentiate, and your differentiating factor can be the value that you have because of a different unique skill set, which means for you, your super unique skill set could be, your expert level skill set could be that you're an accountant. But your general level skill set could be that you have worked in the pharma sector for a long time, or that you've been a sports person, or that maybe you've been a great artist. Maybe then you can create something different, you can bring some different value to the table, which only an accountant with an understanding of art can bring. Right? So either you're going to have to distinguish on the basis of niche of clients, or your particular skill set and what that skill set allows you to do, and the perspectives it allows you to have of the world.
I know you are frustrated. You always dreamt of having an accounting firm or a bookkeeping firm. You always wanted to go by yourself, but you set up shop, purchase furniture, you maybe also hire somebody, and now you are ready for clients to come in. But from the doors, no one is getting in. Why is this problem with you? Because it is a sales problem. Or you might be an accounting professional who might be trying to further your career in accounting or finance in the corporate industry, but no one is noticing you. That might also be a sales problem. And sales, I think as far as I know, is communicating your value. And who fit to help you with communicating your value than our guest today. So let me welcome to Mansi Agrawal, who is a corporate trainer, personal branding expert, and also personal coach and consultant. Mansi ji, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much, Sushil ji. Thank you so much for having me here.
You are a household name in this country, in Nepal, and also abroad. But for the audience who might not be familiar with you, maybe we should, start with who you are and what you do.
So I'm Mansi Agrawal, international corporate trainer. I work with a lot of clients across the globe. I help people communicate better. So when it's an organization and I'm going and doing a training there, topics would typically be customer service, sales, presentations. When I work one-on-one with my clients, topics would typically be personal branding, preparing for speeches. My background is public speaking. I truly enjoy helping people communicate better on stage, in person and on camera. So I work with people, and based on their specific requirements, I make suggestions accordingly.
Like I said, selling or getting clients or, furthering yourself in your career is also part of a communication problem. And if we cannot communicate our value too, so that's a very big issue, and that hinders, accounting and finance professionals in Nepal and across the globe, right? I talked about two types of people, accounting professionals. One, who want to set up their own business, or who already have their business in accounting or bookkeeping, consulting, tax consulting or auditing. And second, those who want to go to the corporate world and climb the ladder, as they say. So I think we'll first have their business, but they are not being able to drive customers, clients through their doors. And even if they have some customers, they have to rely on customers that are low paying, nagging. They do not make payments on time, and they bring in more trouble than add value to the organization or to the accountant who is trying to set up his own firm. That's a sales problem, right? But what is sales? And there's sales, there's marketing, there's branding, and we being technical people, we have no idea. We only see numbers, what sales we will have to reach, but how we do go about it. So let's start with what sales is or what marketing is. Maybe you could start from what you think we should start from.
Let's understand the difference between branding, marketing and sales.
Right.
They sound similar, but they're not the same. Okay. Branding is understanding who you are, projecting that consistently to the world, and making sure people have a certain perception of you that you choose. Okay. So suppose I want to date somebody. Okay. Let's put it like that. First, I need to know who I am. Suppose I'm an artist. I need to know I'm an artist. This is the kind of person I am, and this is something I have clarity on. Once I have that clarity, I'll be able to project that in every interaction with everybody.
Right.
Marketing is putting that out into the world, understanding your brand and being able to share it with the world. So let's say I go and I make a profile on a dating site. That is me marketing.
Right.
That is me putting that brand out into the world. Number 2. Number 3, sales. Actually having a conversation to convert and to get the client in. Okay?
Right.
So after you have marketed, somebody has reached out to you, you have reached out to somebody, and then you're sitting across the table and you're saying, okay, this is the client and we're going to work together. These are the financials. This is how it works. So in the dating world, maybe going on a date, right? So branding is knowing who you are, what value you bring, creating a perception in the mind of the other person. Marketing is putting that website out there, putting that storefront, telling people who you are, so putting that dating profile in and actually going on the date, creating that conversion, creating that sale, that is sales. So these are the 3 distinguishers. Let me give you a very simple idea to understand this better. I was thinking a few days ago, what is my favorite brand in the world? Okay. And I was thinking, okay, people will say, they'll talk about a car. So it's going to be a Ferrari.
Right.
Or for some women, it's possibly going to be like bags, like a Gucci or something like that.
Right.
More early simple manche, I'm a very simple person, I feel. Got 2 favorite brands. And I was really thinking, one of them is very simple. It's Pilot Pen. It's my favorite brand. Okay. So I'm actually carrying a Pilot Pen today, right? This is a Pilot Pen. Why do I like this brand? Why is this brand so special for me? When I was a kid, my mother used to buy us only 3 Pilot Pens in a year, and we were supposed to use them for our exams. As a child, I decided one day I have to be so rich that I can use Pilot Pens all the time. When you're a child, you have small dreams, small aspirations. One of my aspirations was one day I'll be rich enough to use a Pilot Pen every single day. So this for me is a brand which created a perception in my head that not only is it a luxury brand for me at that point, it's also an invaluable brand because of the quality. I was in love with the quality then, I still love it now, but that is the power of branding, when you create a perception in the heads of the other people. Then, years later, I saw the marketing, I saw the posters of Pilot Pen, I possibly saw something somewhere, and when I go to a shop and I buy a Pilot Pen, that is when the sales has actually been converted. This should really help us to understand what is branding, marketing and sales and how they're different, but all interconnected.
We should first start with branding of knowing who you are and what you want to project to the outer world. And also you should have a distinctive, brand or distinctive profile, because if someone's an accountant, there are 1,000 accountants. So you'll have to provide a profile of why you are different and what customers or types of clients you cater to, and why someone might look into, working with you. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I'd like to call differentiation, let's say in your field. I'm not going to generalize it because I'm here talking to somebody who's an expert at their field. Let me try and make it as specific to you as possible. Okay. So one is to identify your niche. Now, I'm a communication coach, okay? But suppose I said that I'm a communication coach and I work only with beauty pageant winners, I would be having a very specific niche, correct? So one way of differentiating is, I work in this field and these are the clients I work with and those are the results I help them achieve. So in your field, let's say you're an accounting firm, you could say my differentiating factor, my niche is that I'm an accounting firm and I work only with film production houses and I do their accounts. You could be the best of the best in that particular segment. So one would be to identify a niche. Another way that you can distinguish yourself is, I'm a person, I'm a personal brand, and I have 2 very strong skill sets. One is my expert level skill set, wherein Mansi Agarwal, I'm an expert, let's say, at communication. But there are certain other general skill sets that I have that make me do what I do. The one general skill set that I have is that I'm a good coach. Another general skill set that I have is I'm a good storyteller. Because of these, I'm able to sort of meander between media, coaching, training, understanding people, and I can do what I do. As an accounting firm, if you don't want to base your niche and if you don't want to differentiate what you do based on the client base, you can differentiate, and your differentiating factor can be the value that you have because of a different unique skill set, which means for you, your super unique skill set could be, your expert level skill set could be that you're an accountant.
Right.
But your general level skill set could be that you have worked in the pharma sector for a long time, or that you've been a sports person, or that maybe you've been a great artist. Maybe then you can create something different. You can bring some different value to the table, which only an accountant with an understanding of art can bring.
Right.
Right? So either you're going to have to distinguish on the basis of niche of clients, or your particular skill set and what that skill set allows you to do, and the perspectives it allows you to have of the world.
There's the perception you are creating for your clients.
Yes.
But how do you communicate it? Let's say, I'll talk about my own firm. I specialize in helping accounting firms outside of Nepal, in the Western world, Australia, UK and US, to set up their back office operations here in Nepal.
Right.
So that's what I do. But how do I communicate? I understand that that's what I do. Now I want that to communicate to my ideal client.
Right. So first thing is, you need to have 100% clarity about what you do and what value you're adding to the world. In your case, it's very clear. I help international chartered accountant firms to set up their back offices in Nepal, correct?
Right.
So in one sentence, you've given me exactly what you do. That crystal clarity where you can express exactly what you do on the back of a napkin in one sentence, that is super important.
Right.
If you can't, then you're not going to go anywhere with it because you're not clear, you're not sure.
Right.
Now, your ideal client is not the end consumer. Your ideal client is not the corporate client. Your ideal client is somebody sitting in UK, in Australia, Canada, wherever it is,
Right.
who wants to outsource a few different services into Nepal.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
Now, in that case, what is this ideal person looking for? They're looking for quality and efficiency at reduced rates.
Right.
They also want to be convinced of the fact that Nepal and Nepali people are reliable people to work with. If you are always able to project that you can provide quality, efficiency, transparency, good, efficient people to work with, you will be able to receive that kind of goodwill. People will be able to trust you in that way, and you'll be able to create a brand around that.
Like I said, we are technical people. Now we understand that we'll have to project our specific skill sets and how we can add value to our ideal clients. Now I want to go into the nitty-gritty of it.
Sure.
Right? Because now, how do you do it? Maybe set up a website. What kind of things I could do to communicate these things that I help you with on cost effectively, quality work here. How do I communicate it through the clients?
Okay. Let me put it in this way. You have to live, breathe, and be that person. You have to.
Right.
Okay. You have to live that image, that perception, that brand that you create everywhere, every single day of your life. For example, today you had invited me.
Right.
You sort of knew how I look. You sort of knew what I'm going to be wearing, correct?
Right.
Either I'm going to be in a sari or I'm going to be in westerns.
Right.
I'm definitely not going to be in a skirt. I'm definitely not going to be in a short dress. You knew that.
Right.
You know I'm not going to be wearing a floral colored dress or something, right? You already knew that. Why? That is the brand I project. That is the person I am everywhere, every day, all the time.
Right.
Apart from when I'm on leave, correct? So you got to be that person. But how do you actually create this brand? How do you become that person? Yes, you project that person, you embody that person, but how do people know about that?
Right.
Now, earlier, and I'm talking about years ago, if you wanted to create a brand, you would either have to be very rich or very famous. And I'll tell you why. Rich because you would have to do a great, fabulous photo shoot of yourself and put photographs all over hoardings in the newspaper, television, everywhere, and say, oh, I'm Sushil and I'm fabulous. Please work with me.
Right.
So you would have to be rich to be able to afford something like that. Or you had to be famous and hope that somebody invites you, like you've invited me today.
Right.
Somebody invites you to their show, and there you get to talk about who you are. The problem with this was, A, who has that kind of money to spend?
Right.
And B, if you did not have the money, you had to start off by being a somebody before people recognized you.
Right.
Because television or any form of traditional media has typically had gatekeepers, people who sort of guard the gates, who don't allow everybody and anybody in. And I understand the reason for that. I completely understand the rationale behind that, okay? Today's world, what has happened is, social media came and disrupted this whole thing. And now suddenly, you don't need to be very rich. Anybody with a phone and an internet connection can actually post, can actually talk about who they are, what they bring to the world. And you don't need to be very famous. You actually literally own a part of social media. So if I have a LinkedIn account, I own a part of that LinkedIn, the whole platform. A very tiny part, of course, but I sort of own a part of that. In today's world, the best way to create your brand, which exceeds your current physical circle of contact. My brand, normally, if I didn't have a social media account, would be my 7 friends, my 3 neighbors, my 2 colleagues, and my family. Correct? It would be a smallish group. But a great brand is one where the group expands. It's a big group. It is a group of people that you possibly don't know, but that know you back. So how do you create and how do you increase the size, the circle of that brand is literally by being on social media. Because social media is smart. I can create a video on social media and I can reach households, I can reach bedrooms, and I can reach boardrooms without actually going there. People are going to see my work and people are going to know who I am. Websites in today's world, according to me, are not as popular because they're not so easy to find, right? Social media, on the other hand, we are scrolling, we come across a video, we see that person, we like what they're saying, adds value to us, we like either the content, we like the manner, whatever it is that we like. Go check out the profile, love the profile, start following. And then before you know it, we like their content, we love them. If we have a requirement for some of the services or the products that they provide, we reach out to them. End of story.
You talked about websites and not being as effective, but you do need to have a website to be found, right? Through social media, you might be projecting or informing people of what the services you are performing, but at the end of the day, you'll have to go to their website and maybe contact them there. Or websites are also, even if they are not as effective, in the whole mix of branding and everything, you do need to have a website.
Okay, my understanding is different. Okay. Reason being, I did make a website. Okay. Why I did not like that website? Not because it was badly made, but because the process of updating on a regular basis is cumbersome. Right? But today, because of the way the world is shaping and changing, I don't only want to know what you do. I also want to know your airport look, what you have for breakfast, and I want to connect with you almost on a voyeuristic level. I want to connect with you almost as if I know you. I want to know your backstory. Okay. So for me, with a website, because there was a huge, long process of contacting people and change it and do this and do that, and it would take weeks at a time, I realized I had a lot more agency, I had a lot more control with social media because I could live in real time keep updating it. Correct? So for me personally, I realized, yes, it's good to have a website because that's like your shop window. That's like your permanent shop window. That creates a sense of trust. But because I wasn't able to update it regularly, I was not getting anything out of it. Okay? Another thing. Now tell me this. I personally haven't bought anything because I've seen somebody's website recently. Everybody that I've connected with, everybody has always been either through Instagram or to LinkedIn. Okay? So for me personally, I have stopped going to websites. Yes, I might go to check out some stuff, but if I see something on social media, go to their profile, there is contact details there, I always contact them first there. So personally, according to me, yes, it's good to have a website. Is it live? Is it current? Does it expose the behind the scenes story? Does it expose your vulnerabilities? No. Do you want to come across as a glossy person only? No. You want people to be a part of your story. You want to draw them in. You want to take them in. And a website very often does not do that because of the cumbersome nature of updating it. Which is why I think it's much easier to be on social media. Keep it dynamic. Keep it moving. Keep adding fresh new content every day, all the time. And that's going to make a difference.
So a website can be your shopping window.
Yes.
But the social media presence is where the leads will come in. There is where your audience will understand you, will see you.
I'll explain this in a different way that I
Okay,
just
sure.
thought of right now, right? Let's say you have a big shop, like a huge shop in Darbar Marg.
Right.
Okay? That's your shopping window.
Yeah.
Correct? But you tell 20 people, take these products from my shop and go to every lane of Kathmandu and sell it, go door to door and sell it to people.
Yeah.
Correct? So your website is that big shop.
Right.
And these people who are going with products door to door
Right.
and literally going into people's homes, talking to people about your product, selling your product, that is your social media presence.
Right.
That's the difference.
Okay. Is there a right way to, be posting in social media, to be present in social media? Let's say I have a profile in social media and I only talk about services. If you want these services, come to me. Is that the right way of, being present in the social media?
Do you watch television?
Sure.
You do.
Yeah.
What's your favorite show?
Not television actually, but I do, watch on YouTube. So
No. Tell me television.
we have moved so fast in content consumption that television seems to be, going very slow.
Okay. So now imagine people think television is going very slow because there's interruptions. In a 30-minute show, it's 22 minutes of content and 8 minutes of advertisement based on the show. Right? Approximately. Now imagine this. If I were to completely remove all of that content and I said for 30 minutes today, you'll just sit and watch ads.
Right.
Would you watch or would you change the channel?
I would change the channel.
So on social media, if you're just going to be selling, if you're just going to be telling me about your services, come buy this from me, come get that from me, come do this, come do that. What are people going to do? Unfollow, block. That's the exact same thing. I am not giving you any entertainment, any inspiration, any connection, any education on social media. And I'm literally just telling you, hi, I'm Mansi and I'm fabulous.
Right.
Come and buy this from me. Come for my coaching class. You are going to hate me. You are not going to take me seriously. The stickiness to my brand will not be there. And you're just going to run away. And we don't want to do that.
Like I said, there are two types of accounting professionals, but
Right.
there are also two types of accounting firms.
I like how the accountant is saying there are these kinds of firms and this happens because
Right.
we as in outsiders, we don't understand these. And I've
Sure.
worked with so many accountants in the last 1 or 2 years because I train at different institutions.
Right.
I've also worked one-on-one with many very, very, very senior chartered accountants who are working in great organizations or who have their own companies who've become entrepreneurs.
Right.
And they always try to explain the technicalities of things to me. And I'm like, no,
Right.
I can't.
I'll just divide them into
Sure.
two groups.
Okay.
So one who can market their services
Okay.
and one who cannot, right?
Okay.
In US and Australia, people are able to market their firms,
Right.
but in Nepal and India, if they are, accounting audit firms
Okay.
registered under the regulatory body, they are
Okay.
not, it is an ethics violation if they market their firms.
Got it.
So how can someone who is not allowed by law to market themselves, they do have to market, because if they do not market, marketing is what? Communicating your value and bringing in clients. But the law says you cannot market yourself. How do you market then?
Okay, I have a couple of questions just to understand this particular case in point
Sure,
clearly.
sure.
I understand, let's say I have a firm called ABC Accounting and I can't market the firm. I can't do advertisements based on that firm.
Sure.
But can I project an image of myself?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So let's understand. Let me tell you a sort of walk around or a loophole through this process is what I understand. We have to understand the difference between a personal brand and a corporate brand. Okay. A corporate brand, let's say, is ABC Account. Suppose that's my company.
Right.
This is the brand. This is the logo. This is what the company is about. This is where the office is and things like that. Mansi Agarwal as a personal brand is a human being,
Right.
is a person who doesn't have a logo, who has a face.
Right.
And this is a person that can make you trust her. Okay. What people were doing originally and initially was just focusing on the logo, the colors, the website, the design of their firm,
Right.
projecting that through social media, traditional media, whatever it is, and hoping that they would get clients and sales. What really needs to be done in this case, what is a good walk around or a loop through is, if you can create the personal brand of the proprietor, of the owner, of the accountant, because that personal brand will elevate them to expert status, will make them a front runner in their field, and because of the trust that they garner as a result of that, will then allow them to get people into that lead circle
Right.
and then convert into sales.
Right.
So a great way of doing it is if you can project yourself as a personal brand, which attracts people to you, and then you can push them into the funnel of your company.
Right. So do not talk about your firm. Do not name your firm. But when you are doing something professional, maybe document that and show it in your social
Absolutely.
media. Now I want to go into networking, because networking is also something that helps you in getting clients. Is there a right way to network, and who should you network with?
That's a great question. Oh my God. If I give you the right answer or the correct answer or the proper answer, it's going to take 2 hours.
Right.
Neither of us have that kind of time. But let me tell you this.
Sure.
I don't know whether there's a right way to network, but there are many wrong ways to network.
Right.
Okay? So that's one thing I'm very, very sure of. And I'm going to tell you what they are. Who should you network with? Again, great question. And I'm going to give you 2 answers for this. Okay? First, let's start with, is there a right way to network?
Right.
I don't know. But I'll tell you what some of the wrong ways to network are. Wrong way number 1. Hi, my name is Mansi. I'm a corporate trainer. What do you do? And then you tell me I'm a chartered accountant. Okay, would you like to avail of my services? Would you like to come for training? Here's
Right.
my card.
Right.
Wrong way to network. You will think I'm a pushy salesperson. Do you really want that? Absolutely not. Nobody likes to be sold to.
Right.
Everybody likes to go and buy from a friend. Right? I would hate it if you were pushing me to buy something from you, because that makes me feel uncomfortable. That makes me feel like I don't have control. But if you told me that, you know what, I love being a chartered accountant. And fine, that's the end of the conversation. 6 months later, I need a chartered accountant. And I'm like, hey, Sushil, can you help me out? I need a chartered accountant.
Right.
That is the true way, according to me, of networking. Okay?
Right.
So number 1, don't be pushy. Don't be like, hi, I'm Mansi. I'm a corporate trainer. Do you want a corporate trainer? Please come to me. Please come to me. Here's my card. What will you do with that card? You're going to throw it in the dustbin. We all know this, right?
Yeah.
That's number 1, a wrong way of networking. Number 2, only networking with an end goal of getting something from the other person in mind.
Right.
Okay? I find that selfish and slightly disrespectful. Every time I meet a new person, I always meet them with a sense of curiosity.
Right.
Let's find out about this person. Oh my God, Sushil, so what does he like to eat? What does he do? Why is he wearing these fabulous clothes? What is he going for? So when I meet, let's say, somebody at a party, my conversations will generally not be about what they do and how I can sell something to them, how they can sell something to me. Never.
Right.
It's always going to be, okay, what's your passion? Oh my God, do you like learning about space? My son is crazy about space. And that's how you connect. For me, networking is about curiosity and about finding people with whom I can be a friend, and about trying to see whether I can learn something from this person. Is there something interesting about this person?
Right.
Can this person tell me about pottery or keto recipes?
Right.
And then if we connect, great. 6 months later, if I need something, if they need something, we connect on a professional level, that's fine. But my end goal personally is never about going in straight, okay, this is the person I have to network with. Never, ever.
Right.
Okay? I love people. I'm an extrovert, which really helps.
Right.
Because I go into any social interaction knowing I'm going to have a great time anyway.
Right.
I just love meeting people, love talking to people. So for me, networking is more about, let me find out something new about this person.
Right.
So I met somebody recently, very interesting story. I met them at a professional event. I'm not going to get into details. And he told me he has a collection of pigeons
Right.
and he does pigeon racing. That's his hobby. And I was like, what is pigeon racing?
Right.
And I promise you, for 6 hours, we were together for 2 days over an event outside Kathmandu. So we were all staying together, a huge group of us. So for 6 hours, I thought this man was like making fun of me. And I kept saying, what, sir? What are you saying? What nonsense? Pigeon racing.
Right.
Right? And then he actually showed me pictures. He had to prove it to me. And I still thought he was lying. But imagine the conversation we had. Imagine the fun we had talking about pigeon racing. And I know so much suddenly about pigeon racing and how they have specific food. The food comes from outside of Nepal. Right? So such an interesting thing that I learned from this person. And then we connected. And if I ever see him again, I'd love to go and speak to him. Right? We connected at a professional event in a very non-professional way, but we also connected on such a deep level that tomorrow if I need something that he can do for me, I know I'm just going to pick up the phone and give him a call.
Right.
If he needs to get some kind of communication work done, training, coaching, whatever it is, he knows he's going to give me a call. right?
Right.
For me, those are the right things to do rather than A, business card, B, having that end goal in mind of this person has to be on my network and I have to get work out of them.
Right.
Wrong methods. Right method, approach networking as a way to make friends. I mean, I think one of the strongest things that I have developed over the last 18 years in this country is a great network of people I love. It's just friends I love. And if sometimes some of them want to work with me on something, great.
Right.
Otherwise, you're invited to my house for coffee. You are invited to my birthday parties, my Diwali parties. You're just a part of my friend circle and I love you anyway.
Right.
Right? Now, what kind of people do we network with? This is a great question because I'll give you two answers and both are completely contradictory. Okay?
Sure.
The person I am.
Yeah.
I will meet everybody, anybody, say hello to people. I have friends that are photographers. I have friends that are selling chocolates. I have friends that are restaurateurs, CEOs, ambassadors, all kinds of people, like literally every walk of life, and I'll know somebody or the other.
Right.
Or I'll just be able to find somebody or the other, through one degree of separation. Government employees, all sorts of people, all sorts of people. And I love that. I love that because each one of them, based on the way they function, based on the way their brain functions, brings something new to my life. They're always adding different colors to my life. So whenever I talk to somebody from a different background, I'm learning so much about them. And even if they're telling me the same thing, they're giving their perspective, which would be totally different. A person who is a mountaineer will tell me about Pokhara in a different way. A person who runs in a hotel in Pokhara will tell me about Pokhara in a completely different way, right? So I learn so many fresh perspectives through the people I meet. So for me, networking is not like strictly about a particular field or a domain. I just love people, work with them all the time, work with people from different backgrounds, which is possibly why I worked with so many celebrities, cricketers, entrepreneurs, business people, chartered accountants, doctors, bankers, professionals of all levels, all types.
Right.
Like the kind of people I work with is not funny. That's because I just love all kinds of people. My brother was an intern in a bank in America. So he was the CEO's assistant's assistant.
Okay.
So he was like the lowest rung of the ladder kind of a thing, right, at that point. Very interestingly, I asked him, Babu, what do you do? Like, what exactly are you doing? He's like, Didi, you won't believe what I've been working on for the last 5-6 days. And I said, what? He said, our CEO is going to Harvard for a summer program.
Right.
Okay. So there's going to be 60 people in this summer program. And obviously, it's not people like us. It's very experienced people. It's difficult to get into this program. And the day he came to know he was going, he came to know the batchmates and who these 60 people would be. He gave me a list of names. And he said, I want you to make a file on each person. I need to know everything about each person. Okay. And my brother was confused, but he did this. So for every person, he made like a 3-pager kind of a thing with a profile, bio, research, everything done, sorted. And he wanted to know what this was going to be used for. So the CEO takes a look at this file and he flips through it.
Right.
And he takes out 5 pages and he discards the rest. And he marks these 5 pages. And he says, these are going to be my 5 best friends at the end of this summer.
Right.
He knew, and he knew so much clarity that these were the 5 people that were going to elevate his career or his bank's fortunes to the next level, which is why he decided to be very streamlined, very focused, to focus on networking strongly with these 5 people. Is that the correct approach? Absolutely. For him, for somebody with a paucity of time, for somebody that does not have that kind of time, great approach, works very well. Me, on the other hand, I just love people. So I just meet everybody.
You have to meet everybody, network with everybody. One and another, be specific who you want to meet, why you want to meet them, but meet them on a personal level.
Yes.
Though you want to have a professional, relationship at the end of your personal relationship, first you start with personal relationship.
I think that works better.
Right.
And also, let me also just tell you a little caveat on this. I said that I love meeting people and I meet people on a personal level all the time. I meet all kinds of people.
Right.
I'm very unstructured with, okay, these are the people I network with and those people I don't. I never do that. I just have friends everywhere. But so often I found that, let's say, a young girl who I just spoke to at an art exhibition or a painting or a photography exhibition, I just spoke to her for 10 minutes. We connected on WhatsApp or on Instagram. 6 years later, she tells me, ma'am, now I work at a bank and my HR manager wants to speak to you and I want to do a training.
Right.
So it is sometimes these random connections that actually land you like a lead or a sale, correct? So I just like to spread it all over.
But networking, it seems, is easier for someone who is quite outgoing, right? Accountants, chartered accountants, CPAs, ACCAs, all these accounting and finance professionals, these technical guys are nerds and quite introverted. So how can an introverted person approach networking differently, or what can an introvert can do?
What do you think is the definition of the word introvert?
Keeping to oneself, being uncomfortable in social occasions, not being able to make eye contacts, or it's really difficult to break the ice. So you are in a conference, there are a lot of people you want to meet, you see them talking and you are alone there standing. What do I say to go in and talk to them? Because they are talking, I cannot just interrupt. How do I get in and make some connections?
Okay. I cannot interrupt. How do I get in and make some connections is a different story. It's a separate story altogether. Let's first understand what an introvert is. Okay? An introvert, yes, you said those correctly. Those are symptoms of being an introvert.
Right.
But by definition, what I understand of an introvert is somebody whose energy is depleted with social interactions.
Right.
And my energy is enhanced with social interactions. Like if I, let's say, go into a networking event, or so let's say I'm speaking on stage, which happens more often for me these days. I'm speaking on stage, I'm doing my thing. And you know what I look forward to? The lunch break, where everyone's going to sit and talk together. And everyone's going to ask me questions personally, right? Or I look forward to after everything's over, and then we've done the photo session and this and that, and everyone's going to get together and we're going to have conversations, and I'll find out where somebody's from and how they once went to Pokhara and this happened to them, or why they work in this hospital in Hitoda or something, right? So for me, that's the kind of stuff I look forward to. That's the stuff I cherish a lot. Introverts, on the other hand, want to run away from those conversations because they deplete their energy, correct? What can an introvert do? Introverts have other superpowers. Let's understand that. Let's not diss introvertism at all. A couple of things introverts are really good at is being great listeners. Okay? If you harness the power of questions, introverts are great question askers. But just asking questions is not simple. There's a skill, there's a way of asking questions. I can ask you about the same thing in 4 different ways, and you will give me 4 totally different answers, and you will have 4 totally different emotional reactions to my question. Okay? So if introverts really learn how to ask the right questions, they can use questions as a medium of connection with people, right? Because when I ask you questions, you feel like I'm interested in you. You feel more connected with me, because everyone likes talking about themselves if they're an extrovert especially, right? Introverts can be great listeners, great question askers if they know how to ask the right questions. And introverts are always more balanced, or at least let's say more articulate with the word usage, right? So when they have a great thought, if they know how to say it in the right way, introverts can very often create impact in few words and be respected members of the community and of their organizations. I personally really look up to so many introverts, and not just because of what they do, but also because of how they communicate and how different it is from my communication style, yet it works.
I was reading a book, and it talked about networking, and that what majority of people do, or when they are meeting people, so 90% of the time they talk to their friends and family, and only 10% of the times they actually go to meet new people. And also that it feels like a chore. Like you said, introvert get depleted, but that study suggested that most people think of it, or when they come back from networking, or if they have to go network, they think that it is a task they have to do. What do you suggest on not thinking it as a task, and how do you maybe gamify or make it interesting or something of networking?
Let me try and shift your mindset a bit through this. Okay, do you know how to cycle?
Yeah.
Do you have a cycle?
I don't.
Okay, do you know how to drive a car?
Yeah.
Do you have a car?
I don't.
Do you know how to ride a bike?
Yes, sure.
Do you have a bike?
Yes, I
Okay,
do.
great. I got it right. Okay. I tell you that we have a meeting. You have to reach my office at 10 o'clock
Right.
on a Tuesday morning. Okay?
Yeah.
That's a task.
Right.
You have an end result, like I have to do this.
Right.
I have to reach Naxala 10. That's stress on you. That day when you're riding that bike, you'll be stressed.
Right.
Correct? It's going to be a chore. It's a task. On the other hand, on a Saturday, the weather's perfect. Perfect weather. It's beautiful. It's the weather you love.
Right.
Whether it's autumn or winter or whatever it is, right? And you have nothing to do. You woke up, you had your coffee, you listen to music, and you're like, oh, let's go for a bike ride.
Right.
Right? You have no end goal in mind. You don't know where you want to go. You don't know which way you're going to take. You don't even need to meet anybody at the end of it.
Right.
You are just going on that ride because you want to go on that ride. You just love riding your bike. And you're going around, and then you go to Patan, and then you go to Bhaktapur, and you're riding all around the city.
Right.
That's not a chore for you at all. Correct. If you have too much of pressure of an end goal,
Right.
that same task becomes a burden. On the other hand, if you're just riding around and you're just having fun and you're looking at the trees and you're looking at all of that, it's not a chore.
Right.
I approach meeting new people as meeting new people, not as networking.
Right.
Networking is work.
Right.
That's a chore. That's a task. That's a responsibility.
Sure.
I go and I'm like, oh, I'm going to make friends. I make friends. Like I was doing this project with the European Union.
Right.
Okay. They approached me for a project. I was doing this project, very big project. It was the EU-Nepal Business Forum. So I had to go to the EUD office once every week for 3 or 4 weeks. It was like a lot of planning, a lot of preparation. And when you go for meetings, you start talking to people, right? I'm the kind of person who'll just talk to people before the meeting, after the meeting. And there's an amazing, amazing lady there who's now been transferred out of Nepal. Her name is Eloisa, right? Spoke to her a couple of times and I'm like, she's so much fun.
Right.
She's like the most fun lady, right? She wears these colorful clothes and floral prints, just the kind of clothes I would never have the courage to wear.
Right.
Okay. Was I networking with her? No. I was just like, Eloisa, where did you get that skirt? How do you pull off these clothes? And then she tells me how she studied architecture, this and that. I learned 20 things from her without even knowing it. Why? I never thought of it as, this is work. I need to know this lady. I need to be friends with her. I need to network with her. No. I just went there, met this girl, completely loved her attitude, and we became friends. Don't approach it as a chore, as a task, as today I'm going to go for this event and I need to meet new people. I need to network with 7 new people. Never. Just go. Just talk to people. Talk about, with Eloisa and me, our conversations used to be about her clothes, her floral dresses. And we just connected on such a fun level. And then these conversations became really deep because I started telling her about my life. She told me about her life in Spain.
Right.
So we connected on a deeper level. For me, it's never a networking thing. It's no work. It's meeting people and making friends. And who doesn't like that?
Right. So it's just a mindset change. So I need to meet somebody, or I'm meeting somebody, right? Just in attitude change.
I need to meet somebody,
Right.
or I get to meet somebody. I'm blessed. I get to go for this event and I get to meet 7 new people.
Right.
I'm blessed. I'm invited for this party and I'm going to meet 10 new people.
Right.
Wow, I get to meet people. How many people would actually want to get that opportunity but don't?
Right.
On the other hand, people are like, I have to go for this party, network, half an hour. No, wrong attitude. I get to meet people. I get to have fun.
Right.
I get to talk to them. I get to hear them. If I'm an introvert, I still get to hear them. I get to hear the wonderful stories they have to share. I get to ask them great questions.
Though we have answered most of the questions, now I want to move from accounting firms and getting clients for those firms to an individual in the accounting industry who's trying to, get further in their career. What approach do they need to do to sell themselves and, get hired and move upwards in the ladder, in the corporate ladder?
A couple of things that would be really important is, let's say I'm a chartered accountant, I'm a qualified chartered accountant, and now I want to get a job. That's what you're talking about, right? I need to first understand what is my employer looking at. Employers are not always looking at people who have the best networking skills.
Right.
Okay, not always. Higher up, maybe. Initially, maybe not. They're looking at meticulous people who learn fast, who adapt fast, and who take great orders and who do their work with a lot of joy and pride. Correct? That's the person I have to be on social media. I'm not going to project myself as a great big entrepreneur.
Right.
I'm going to project myself as somebody who loves being meticulous, who does the job well, who's great at following rules, being uniform, being consistent, learning fast.
Right.
And that's the person I want to project myself.
Right. So the person should also be, present in the sphere of the persons that are looking for employees to work in their companies, right?
Yes.
So you will have to do the work. There's personal branding. You do that through social media. Is social media now in this day and age the best and the foremost, tool, if I may, to get, great career, great clients and all that?
Have we met before, Sushilji?
No, we have not.
And how do you know about me? Why did you invite me?
Through YouTube, through social media and all that.
Right?
Yeah.
Through the fact that I did something on social media,
Sure.
you thought maybe I'm going to be a value addition to your podcast.
Right.
Right?
Mhm.
Just like that, a company might think I'm a value addition to their conference
Right.
as a keynote speaker.
Sure.
Correct?
Mhm.
And that's exactly how it is. What is a better way than social media in today's world? I can't think of any. Why? We spend hours on social media every day.
Right.
Almost everybody that I know.
Mm.
Right? If people are spending hours on social media, that's where their attention is going. That's where you need to catch them. If people were spending hours dancing on Tundi Khel every day, I would go to Tundi Khel and talk about what I do.
Right.
But people are not doing that. People are here, I got to be here.
Follow your, ideal person, ideal companies, ideal people you want to meet. Where they are, you should be there. So they are in social media, maybe they are in Facebook, you should be present in Facebook. If your ideal for professionals, most of them are in LinkedIn, you should be in LinkedIn. But being in social media can also be, too much of a chore again, right? Because there are too many social media. Do you need to be specific on where you want to be? And should you choose a, one platform and stick to it? Or should you be present everywhere?
Great question. I answer. So I work with a lot of one-on-one coaching clients, right?
Right.
Internationally as well as in Nepal.
Mhm.
In fact, I wrote a book called Brand Compass, which
Right.
I don't retail, I don't sell.
Yeah.
It's only for my one-on-one clients and we work together. It's a 62-page workbook. And at the end of this, you have crystal clarity about who you are, what you want to do and how you're going to project yourself on social media for the next 3 months, right?
Right.
So I work with a lot of clients on this. I'm currently working with 4 people and they are working out their own social media strategy, correct?
Right.
So your question was, which platform should you choose? And I tell people who work with me one-on-one this exact same formula. The formula is everybody has a primary platform,
Right.
right? 80-20 principle. 80% of their leads and business will come from that primary platform. It's very important for you to recognize early on in the game what your primary platform is going to be
Right.
based on the kind of people you want to speak to. But after you have created a piece of content, does it hurt to put it elsewhere? No, it doesn't. So do that.
Right.
Put it elsewhere as well. So for me, for example, initially my primary platform was Facebook. But then people decided to migrate from Facebook somehow.
Yeah.
And everyone moved on to Instagram or to LinkedIn based on whatever it is that they were looking for.
Right.
Because these are more niche oriented is what I feel. So LinkedIn today is my primary platform. But when I post something on LinkedIn, I put in half an hour, 1 hour to write a post, let's say. For me to quickly transfer it to Instagram is a 30-second game or a 2-minute game.
Right.
Why would I not do that? Right?
Right.
So my primary platform personally is LinkedIn, but I share the same content on Insta, same on Facebook, same on YouTube.
Right.
And I just let it be.
And social media, because let's say LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, they have different kind of audience and they expect different kind of content. When I'm on Facebook, I expect my friends and family see what they are doing and all that. In LinkedIn, I try to go in and see new things, professional things, new updates, what people are doing with their professional lives. Is there a right or wrong way to be on different platforms? Like you said, the thing you wrote in LinkedIn, can that be transferred to Facebook? Is it accepted by the Facebook community? Let's say
That's a great. The algorithm will accept it, but will not love it.
right.
Right. The community does accept it to an extent if they like you otherwise and they follow you otherwise. But of course, every platform has their own things that they optimize for.
Right.
So for example, on Instagram, they love reels, like right now.
Yeah.
See, the thing with the algorithm is it's changing. So by the time this video is released, maybe they'll have something new.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But as of now, as we speak today, let's say Instagram is prioritizing reels. So if you are a brand that is primarily focused on getting clients through Instagram, focus on reels. If you are a brand that is primarily focused on getting clients through LinkedIn, prioritize on photographs and a long description, because that is what LinkedIn is prioritizing.
Right.
Correct? Having said that, do all of us have the bandwidth to take the same piece of content, convert it into a video for Instagram, convert it into a written content for LinkedIn, and convert it into something else for Facebook? I know I don't.
Right.
I'm a one-man army. I'm doing everything by myself. I don't have that kind of bandwidth. So what do? Some videos, I have some posts, and I just interpost. I'd rather have one post going out every day than take one piece of content, convert it as per platform to optimize it, and then post. That's not right.
But if you are a business, you could always hire someone who could handle your social media and convert to the platforms and repurpose how the platform likes it.
Yes.
Right. So that can be done, and it is advisable for firms if they want to reach audiences and multiple audiences, because though professional clients are on LinkedIn, they also have Facebook, they also have Instagram.
Of course.
You might find it there. Or I think there was a study by Google or something that if someone wants to buy from you, they at least 11 something interactions. After 11 interactions, they get to know you and they buy from you.
Exactly.
Right? So they see you on LinkedIn, they see you on Facebook, they see you on Instagram. So you have created a familiarity with them. Absolutely. And now it is easier to get those clients. It's easier to communicate. If we want to reach out also, now it's easier.
Absolutely. And doesn't this 11 interactions and 11 sort of hits on your brain corroborate with websites don't work that much anymore? How many times do you go to see somebody's website, right? You don't actually go to anybody's website 11 times.
Right.
Social media is coming to you. Website you have to go to.
Right.
You understand the difference now? Which is why if somebody tells me, oh, I don't have a social media presence, but I have a great website.
Right.
How will you be discovered, sir? You will not be discovered.
Right.
Because people need to go to your website. Social media is you going to them.
Right.
That's the difference fundamentally. You don't actually check out somebody's website 11 times, no? But social media, 11 interactions is very easy. It's fairly easy. It just could happen over 5-6 days.
Right.
So that's the difference.
Right. Now business, shifted from business to business, right? Or person to business to person. So they like someone, then they buy something his company or her company is selling. Or they like a company and they buy from the company. So has the interaction changed that way that now the interactions or the communications from persons are getting more reach than the corporate types of interactions?
Not every person, but if you're a person of influence, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me give you 2 examples. Okay. Have you heard of this person on Shark Tank? And I keep forgetting his name. The guy who owns Boat. This person that owns Boat.
Right.
Okay. Now, before he went on Shark Tank, he had no real big personal brand. Correct? So his company was like doing whatever this amount of sales. It was sort of growing. It was a good company, good brand. He went on Shark Tank. Suddenly he becomes a household name, except that we both forget his name.
Right.
But he suddenly became a very big name, and his company prices and his stock prices skyrocketed.
Right.
His profits skyrocketed. And how exactly was that? That was because suddenly people could relate to this person. People connected on a personal basis. So yes, absolutely this works. Okay.
Right.
Let me give you another example. Yesterday, late in the night, my friend from Bombay, Kanan, she's one of my closest friends.
Right.
She sent me a photograph of herself having dinner with friends.
Right.
Basic, nothing much. Same 2 hours ago or 1 hour ago, I had seen some of my friends from Kathmandu who work at Ensel having dinner at the same restaurant. Okay. Why did I remember that they were at the same place? Is because I have seen photographs of this restaurant. I've never stepped in there.
Right.
I have seen photographs of this restaurant on Shilpa Shetty's feed
Right.
because she's the owner of this restaurant.
Mm.
So in my head, I might forget the name of the restaurant,
Right.
but because Shilpa Shetty is such a big name, I followed her. I saw that she had posted, she said, I've started a restaurant.
Right.
And she posted pictures of the interiors.
Mm.
I related and I was like, oh, both these guys are having dinner at Shilpa Shetty's restaurant.
Right. Right.
A personal brand which pulls along a company or an organization.
Right. So you didn't remember what the restaurant was, but you remembered that it was Shilpa Shetty's restaurant.
Absolutely.
Right. That's the power of personal branding.
Yes.
Right. And if someone is starting out, Shilpa Shetty being a Bollywood star, already had, is a person of influence. She already has a personal brand. But if someone is starting out, can someone become a personal brand by not being a film star, by not being someone famous on YouTube or a singer or something of that kind?
You are saying, can somebody be a personal brand without being a celebrity in the traditional terms of either being from entertainment or sport?
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Correct? That's your question.
Yeah.
Never played a sport in my life professionally. Have been a great swimmer, never played a sport professionally.
Right.
Never acted in a film yet.
Yeah.
Okay? In today's world, because of the variety of people we interact with and the variety of interests that people have,
Yeah.
people are looking out for people in all fields, all spheres, all sectors. Correct? Anybody with a great message, a great way of posting things on social media can create a personal brand today. Let me tell you about two very interesting people again, just
Right.
cases, just case studies. My own brother,
Mhm.
the same guy who was working in America,
Right.
came back to India. Now he's known as Food Farmer. He's got 2.7 million followers. Huge impact.
Right.
He made a video on why Bonvita, why this health drink is not actually so healthy.
Right.
Went viral, cases filed against him, but he also became an overnight celebrity on social media
Right.
because everybody trusted what he said. Okay? So he is called the influencer
Right.
because he's actually telling people, don't consume these packaged goods, don't consume this, don't consume that.
Right.
He is not a Bollywood actor. He's never really been a sports star.
Right.
Yet he's got a personal brand stronger than a few people who work in Bollywood or Hollywood or whatever it is. That's one. Another person, I completely respect him. I completely respect him brand. His brand. He's a neurosurgeon, Dr. Sid Warrior. Fabulous personal brand. He creates these interesting videos on neurology. He creates all of these content that makes us, people like us that don't really understand the functionings of the human brain,
Right.
connect with it on a deeper level. So what I really like about him is he manages to demystify biology and make it seem like something that's approachable, understandable for people like you and me.
Right.
Great personal brand, not in Bollywood, not a sports star, but I love the brand he's created.
And after the brand has been created, now the work will flow in. So you'll have to first create a brand. You'll have to work in that, and you should not expect from day one, like I said, you have started a firm and you should not expect that tomorrow you will get clients. But before you have in mind that you will someday, start a firm, maybe start being a personal brand, post content that would be useful, tax related, accounting related content that would be useful. And when you are household name or you are more celebrated, then when you say that I have started a firm, then clients will come to your firm, not the firm, the name of the firm, but because it is your firm, clients will come in.
100%.
Right.
Audience first, product second.
Right.
Audience first, service second. Always. Create an audience. You can literally, if you're good, passionate, fabulous at what you do, you can literally sell them anything. Why do people go to Shilpa Shetty's restaurant? Is she a chef?
No, she is not.
But she created an audience. There's trust. Maybe the restaurant's great. I don't know. But they go there.
Right.
Even if it's for an aspirational value. Even if it is to show people that we went to Shilpa Shetty's fabulous restaurant. Whatever it is. But people go there.
Right.
Correct? Virat Kohli invested in so many different companies. Right? He sells a pair of shoes. People are just going to go and buy those shoes. Why? Because Virat Kohli said these are great shoes.
Right.
He, I believe, has a contract with Gillette. I was in Delhi a few weeks ago. Strangely, every third guy has the same beard as he does. Every
Right.
third guy, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because of that impact of that personal brand. And absolutely, create an audience, make the circle as big as you can. Get them to know you, to connect with you, to love you, to like you. And then they will trust you. And through that connection, you can sell them whatever you want.
Build an audience, build trust with the audience, and then the work will flow in.
Yes.
You'll get opportunities that you never thought of
Yes.
also, right?
Yes.
So maybe, like you said, Shilpa Shetty is a Bollywood actor. With her personal brand, she might only had to, get earlier acting roles. But due to her personal brand, her restaurant also works. So she might not have ever thought that she would open a restaurant. She was a film star, she was an actor, and she might have thought that she would do this for her life. But now she's building a different business from what she was initially.
Yes.
So here I would like to end the podcast because I think we have come to a very good conclusion. Now, to get clients, you'll have to first build a personal brand, communicate that brand to your audience, go where your audience is, and then it will do its magic.
Yes, absolutely. I love how you summed it up. And you have given all the key highlights and the key points of this very, very well. It's a great way to end this because people sort of understand basic strategy,
Right.
but there are many levels and layers to this, of course. But this is a great conversation for this podcast.
Thank you very much for this very insightful podcast. I know the audience will take this and have something to work on and help them on their career journey and also their professional journey, starting and growing their accounting firms. Thank you very much.
I hope that's the idea, and I'm so grateful that I got a chance to add value to this community because I'm passionate about helping people across the board, and y'all are doing a great job. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much.